Okay, so today we're diving into something that for way too long has been an invisible struggle, ADHD in girls. We're going to look at why it's so often missed and, more importantly, how getting the right support can help you go from just surviving to actually thriving.
Does that question hit home for you? That feeling of just paddling like crazy under the surface while everyone else seems to be gliding along? Well, you're not alone, and there's a very real reason for it. So let's start there with what that hidden struggle actually looks and feels like.
Right, first things first, we need to get a handle on the experience itself. Because for so many girls, ADHD isn't what you see on the outside. It's an internal battle, a constant, hidden effort that can color your whole world without anyone on the outside having a clue.
And this, right here, is one of the biggest reasons for all the misunderstanding. When we think of ADHD, we tend to picture the stereotypical hyperactive boy, the one who can't sit still and is causing a bit of chaos. But for girls, it often looks completely different. It's not outward hyperactivity. It's a quiet, internal restlessness. It's being lost in a daydream, a constant struggle with organization, and feeling emotions so intensely that they're overwhelming. And all of that gets dismissed way too easily.
All that pressure to be normal leads to this incredibly important coping strategy called masking. Girls become absolute experts at hiding their struggles. Just imagine spending every ounce of your energy, all day long, just trying to act like everyone else. It is completely and utterly exhausting, and it comes at a huge mental cost that often leads straight to burnout.
And that hidden effort, it has a massive impact. You can see it in school, where a really bright girl gets grades that are all over the place. You see it in her social life, where trying to keep up with friendships feels like trying to read a rule book that nobody ever gave you. And over time, always feeling different or like you're not good enough just chips away at your self-esteem and, it paves the way for serious issues like anxiety and depression to move in.
So, if the impact is so severe, why on earth does it get missed so often? Well, the reasons point to a pretty big systemic problem. One that lets girls with ADHD fly right under the radar of parents, teachers, and even doctors.
The numbers themselves tell a really stark story. Boys get diagnosed with ADHD way more often than girls. But let's be crystal clear about this. That gap isn't because girls don't have ADHD, it's because our whole system, our tests, our social awareness, it's all been built around the way ADHD looks in boys. And that leaves a massive number of girls without the help they need.
So why are they missed? Well, think about it. A quiet girl who's daydreaming isn't disrupting the class, so she gets ignored. Her amazing ability to hyper-focus on something she loves can make it seem like she doesn't have any attention problems at all. And like we said, she's learned to mask her struggles so well, while all that restlessness and anxiety is happening on the inside, totally invisible to the outside world.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This is the heart of the problem. Instead of anyone seeing a neurodevelopmental condition that needs support, the girl's struggles are blamed on her character. She's not seen as someone with ADHD. She's just labeled dreamy or too sensitive or maybe even lazy. And that mislabeling is what stops her from getting help.
Okay, we've laid out the problem, and it can feel a little heavy, but now we get to the most important bit, the solution. Because getting help is absolutely 100% possible. So let's walk through a practical guide using the UK support systems as a great example.
A huge first step is realizing you are not in this alone. In the UK, there are some incredible charities doing amazing work. The ADHD Foundation and ADHD UK are fantastic places to start for info and resources. And finding communities like ADHD Girls can be a lifeline, a place to connect with other women who just get it. Meanwhile, Young Minds has great advice for navigating school or uni.
It is so important to know this. In the education system, you have rights. Schools and universities legally have to give you what are called reasonable adjustments. That could be anything from extra time on an exam to a quiet room to work in. And for university students, the Disability Student Allowance, or DSA, is an absolute game changer. It gives you funding for things like special software or even one-on-one support.
Now, getting a formal diagnosis is often the key that unlocks all of this support. In the UK, that journey usually starts with a trip to your GP. And yet, NHS waiting lists can be pretty long, but it's worth knowing that in England, there's an initiative called Right to Choose that can often get you seen much faster through an NHS-funded private service.
Okay, so beyond all the formal support, what can you do for yourself day to day? This last part is all about building your own personal toolkit, a set of strategies and resources that empower you to start working with your brain instead of constantly fighting against it. And look, this isn't just fluffy advice. This is essential brain maintenance. Think of sleep as the non-negotiable reset button for your brain. Exercise gives you that natural hit of dopamine that really helps with focus. Mindfulness can help you pull back when your thoughts are racing a mile a minute. And good nutrition is literally the fuel your brain runs on. These are your foundations.
Then, on top of those foundations, you can build a whole support system with some amazing tools. To help you focus, apps like Forest can actually make it fun. To organize the chaos in your head, tools like Todoist or OneNote can be a total lifesaver. And for studying, a simple Pomodoro timer can work wonders. And new AI tools like Notebook LM can help you pull all your ideas together. And now, for what might be the most important part of all of this. We have to reframe the conversation. ADHD is not just a list of deficits. It is a different way of being wired that comes with some pretty incredible strengths. The ADHD brain is often a creative powerhouse, seeing connections that nobody else does. It has the superpower of hyperfocus, the ability to dive into something you love deeper than anyone else. And all that emotional intensity? It often translates into a profound, powerful sense of empathy.
And this is the end goal. Getting the right support, whether it's from a therapist or a coach or just your own toolkit, it's not about fixing you. It's about starting an upward spiral. One small win, like finally getting your notes organized, builds a little confidence. That confidence makes it easier to try for the next win, and it just keeps building on itself. It's a powerful cycle of growth.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. For years, maybe you've seen these parts of you as your biggest weaknesses. But what if you just flip the script? What if that tendency to get distracted is actually what makes you so creative? What if your biggest challenge is also your greatest strength?